everyone, it's Dr. Adana. Today we are actually going to be learning and talking about colic. So some of you have little ones who have experienced colic, or you might know somebody who has a little one, of course. But colic, just as a very simple definition, kids get labeled with colic if they're uncontrollably crying for just hours on end. Sometimes it happens later on in the afternoon and it goes into the evening. But you know, it's not your typical cry where baby's hungry or they need to be changed. It's just this continuous long cry. A lot of times moms and dads, of course, are kind of left helpless because they don't really know why. They're not typically given a solution, and they're just really, really exhausted and frustrated. And of course, they want not only the baby to feel better, but they just want everybody to feel better so that everyone can get some rest and, of course, function at their best. Colic, typically when you look it up, a lot of times they say, yeah, we don't really know what causes it. I will tell you, on a chiropractic level, there's a lot of obvious things that cause colic, most importantly being the birth process. So whether you're vaginally born or it's a C-section birth, a lot of birth trauma is possible. And one of the biggest places that we see birth trauma affect that nervous system is up top. So remember, the nerve sitting at the top of our spine, of course, if you're coming through a birth canal or if you're being pulled out from a C-section, there's a lot of pressure and pull that gets put on that area. Especially with a C-section, what ends up happening is because you are not going through the vaginal canal, you are not exposed to mom's probiotics, and both your skull, your torso, your entire spine, those things really don't get activated by, of course, the uterine contractions and the muscles and everything there. And so it doesn't really kick breathing, it doesn't kick digestion into that full gear that it's supposed to. Even more so if it's a C-section, there's a lot of pull that happens, so an interference can be created on different levels of the spine, therefore then kind of resulting in things like colic and kind of some associated symptoms that come with it. Sometimes with colic we'll see, and especially if we've got things in the upper neck area, baby might have problems latching on. The baby might have some kind of jaw discomfort. Their head might sit a certain direction. When we move further down, sometimes you've heard that kids are gassy or kind of have like a reflux type issue that happens every time they feed. That happens because they have those interferences to the middle of their spine. And then there's some kids that, of course, grunt. They're very, very uncomfortable. They cry even more so when they're actually trying to go to the restroom. And that's because of those interferences to those nerves further down in the spine. Now on the chart right now that you'll see those kind of areas circled, but what we're going to do on our end is we are going to do an assessment, of course, and figure out where those interferences lie for our little ones. And then through that adjustment, we're going to clear that area up so that their bodies start to function better and that they, of course, start to feel better. They're going to start sleeping for longer hours. They're going to start napping throughout the day. They're going to go to the restroom with much more ease and comfort. You're going to start sleeping, which is really, really exciting. So chiropractic care is such a natural and gentle approach to little ones with colic, and it makes a very quick and of course very safe, adjustment to that child, therefore giving you a very, very good and natural solution. On top of that, a few things that you can be looking for as a mom, you really want to be cautious of nutrition. You want to look for just inflammatory foods in your own system, because then if you're breastfeeding, of course, can lead to causing some more inflammation and discomfort for the baby. So be very cautious of any pasteurized dairy or just dairy in general, anything with wheat, any flours, anything like that, and of course corn and soy. You want to remove all those things. I know some of you are probably thinking, what am I supposed to eat then? I promise there's good stuff for you out there. But in removing those things, you're just taking one extra step to make sure that it's nothing inflammatory on your end that, of course, is affecting the baby on that end. Well, thank you for watching our video on colic and, of course, natural solutions to that. If you have any questions about any health issue, whether it's colic or something else that you'd like to learn about, please feel free to reply to this email. You can ask a question below. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube page so that every week you can learn more natural solutions to common childhood issues.